Let's build a hyperbola from the ground up. A hyperbola begins with two special points called the foci. Pick any point P on the curve. Draw its distance to the far focus and to the near focus. Call those two lengths PF1 and PF2. For an ellipse, we add them. For a hyperbola, we subtract, and that difference is always the same constant. As P slides outward, both lengths grow, but they grow by exactly the same amount, so their difference never changes. Sweep it the other way, and the same rule traces the rest of this branch. Swap which focus you subtract from, and you get a second branch, a mirror image of the first. Two branches opening away from each other. That is a hyperbola. The two branches turn around at the vertices, and the line through them is the transverse axis. Half of that axis, from the center to a vertex, we call A. The hyperbola never crosses the vertical axis, but a second length still matters. Going up from the center, we call it B. B will set the shape of the branches in a moment. The distance from the center out to a focus we call C. Notice the foci sit outside the vertices, so C is bigger than A. Put P right at a vertex, and the two distances become easy. The far one is A plus C, the near one is C minus A. Subtract, the C's cancel, and the constant difference is exactly 2A. A, B, and C are locked together by a right triangle. For the hyperbola, the relation carries a plus sign. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Here, that is 25 equals 16 plus 9, a 3-4-5 triangle. The eccentricity compares those two lengths. Here it is 5/4, or 1.25. Because C is always bigger than A, the eccentricity of a hyperbola is always greater than 1. Draw a box, A across and B up, centered on the origin. Stretch its diagonals out in both directions. Those two lines are the asymptotes, with slopes plus and minus B over A. In our example, the slopes are plus and minus 3/4. The branches chase these lines forever, getting closer and closer, but never touching them. Each focus also has a matching vertical line called a directrix. For a hyperbola, the directrix sits between the center and the vertex, closer in than you might expect. Take any point on the curve and measure its distance to the focus and to that directrix. The ratio of those two distances is the eccentricity. Watch what happens as the point slides along the branch. Both distances change, but the ratio never moves off 1.25, the eccentricity, every single time. Now let's turn that distance rule into an equation. The difference of the two distances equals 2A. Move one square root across. Square both sides and the mess collapses to this. Square once more and gather the terms. But C squared minus A squared is just B squared. Divide through and there it is, the standard equation of a hyperbola. With our numbers x squared over 16 minus y squared over 9 equals 1. One last caution. Draw a vertical line through the curve. It meets the hyperbola twice, so this equation is a relation, not a function. So here's the whole story, side by side with the ellipse. Add the two distances, and you get an ellipse. Subtract them, and you get a hyperbola. The minus sign in the focal relation becomes a plus. The eccentricity crosses from below 1 to above 1, and in the equation, the plus becomes a minus. A plus keeps the curve closed, and every point stays a bounded distance from the center. A minus tears it open into two branches that run away along their asymptotes and never come back. Same two foci, one sign apart.